When Rina stepped into the boutique, she wasn't just greeted by her daughter Salma but also by someone unexpected, Kamal. It was her first time meeting the young man, and Salma, with a big smile, eagerly introduced him as her boyfriend, proudly mentioning that he was about to graduate from college. For a moment, everything seemed fine. But then, Rina's expression darkened, and she suddenly lashed out, pointing an accusing finger at Kamal. "You!" she exclaimed. "You're the guy who's always at that bar late at night, aren't you? Aren't you the one dating that older woman, Shobnam? Don't play innocent with me. You're no college student. You're a freeloader." Hey there. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another chilling real-life story that will leave you stunned. This time, the tale unfolds in Rajshahi, a city in Bangladesh, and it's about a mother and her two daughters who've been at odds since, well, practically forever. After years of tension and even a period where the mother ran away from home, she eventually returned, only to find the family drama was far from over. The disputes between her and her daughters just kept brewing, making this case not only heartbreaking but also incredibly bizarre. So, what's the full story behind this strange and unique situation? Stick around, and let's uncover all the details together. You won't want to miss it. Before we jump into the story, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And hey, share this story with your friends. It's one you won't want to keep to yourself. So, here's how it goes. Back in 1967, in Mohanpur, Bangladesh, a woman named Rina was born. From a young age, Rina had a fiery, tomboyish streak, and her favorite pastime seemed to be clashing with her parents. By the time she turned 18, she was living on the streets, hanging out with thugs, and partying her nights away with booze. It was during this chaotic phase of her life that she met the man who would become her husband, though neither of them had jobs or much stability to their names. At 20, Rina gave birth to her first daughter, Nizia, and 4 years later, Salma was born. But life at home was anything but peaceful. Her husband was abusive, and Rina, never one to back down, constantly fought with him. Eventually, she had enough and ran away, leaving her family behind for 6 years. Fast forward to 2000, Rina got word that her husband was gravely ill. She came back home, taking care of her children while tending to her dying husband. Later that year he passed away, leaving Rina to raise her two daughters alone. But Rina wasn't exactly the picture of a nurturing mother. She had a drinking habit and a rough, almost gangster-like demeanor that made her infamous in the neighborhood. Her behavior led to the neighbors placing Nizia and Salma in an orphanage, as no other family members were around to care for them. Even so, Rina would occasionally visit the girls, though not to offer love or support. Instead, she'd nag and criticize them endlessly, further straining their relationship. By 2009, both Nizia and Salma had aged out of the orphanage. They moved to Rajshahi, where they found jobs as admins at a fruit delivery company and shared a rented room. Things seemed to be looking up, until Rina discovered their whereabouts and moved in with them. Living with Rina was no picnic. She was loud, rude, and unfiltered, often yelling incoherently and embarrassing her daughters in front of their neighbors. To make matters worse, she demanded money to fund her drinking habit and even brought her boyfriends into their cramped rental room. The final straw came when her behavior became too much to handle, and the girls kicked her out. To an outsider, it might seem harsh, but after years of enduring her antics, their patience had worn thin. In 2014, Rina started dating a younger man named Ashraf, who owned a gold trading business in a modern market in Rajshahi. Their relationship escalated quickly, and they got married the same year. Now, as the wife of a gold shop owner, Rina enjoyed a life of relative luxury. But instead of building bridges with her daughters, she used her newfound status to belittle them. She frequently showed up at their place, hurling insults about their rented room, their clothes, and more, all while flaunting her success. Neighbors began to question if they were even a real family, given the constant tension. When Rina and her daughters crossed paths in public, things didn't get any better. Arguments became a regular occurrence, with Rina's sharp tongue sparking more fights than ever. Despite everything, though, this messy, tangled relationship kept drawing them back into each other's lives. By 2016, things started looking up for the family. Nizia, the older sister, married a businessman at the age of 29. With her husband's financial support, she helped her younger sister, Salma, pursue their long-time dream of opening a boutique that sold women's clothing. Salma even moved into a nicer rental space, and by early 2017, the sisters teamed up again to launch a women-only spa business. Although the initial investment came entirely from Nizia's husband, Salma managed the spa and boutique with the help of 4 employees. The businesses weren't massive, but did surprisingly well. Then came February 2017, when Salma met Kamal, a charming, handsome guy 4 years younger than her. He claimed to be a college student at the time. Kamal quickly became a regular at both the spa and boutique, and one thing led to another. Salma and Kamal started dating. Now, her sister Nizia wasn't thrilled about this relationship. She warned Salma against dating a college student and advised her to find someone with a stable job. But Salma brushed off the advice, saying Kamal would get a job as soon as he graduated. At first, things seemed fine. Kamal was polite, attractive, and people thought they made a great couple. But over time, he started asking for money. Lots of it. He claimed it was for tuition, practice fees, a motorcycle to get to campus, and other expenses. Salma, swept up in romance, secretly gave him large sums of money without her sister's knowledge. Outsiders saw them as a perfect pair. Kamal's innocent, sweet demeanor made him look like the ideal boyfriend, and people often complimented Salma on her luck in landing such a catch. Some even gossiped about how many girls had chased after Kamal, but Salma had won him. What they didn't know was the toll this relationship was taking on her. Kamal refused to introduce Salma to his parents or even tell her where he lived. Any time she brought it up, it turned into a fight. Kamal's excuse? His parents didn't approve of dating until he finished college. Now, let's switch gears and talk about their mother, Reena. In October 2017, tragedy struck when her husband, Ashraf, suddenly passed away from a mysterious illness. Ashraf had been in good health, but after dinner one night, he collapsed and was rushed to the hospital, where he passed away. Ashraf's parents were suspicious, accusing Reena of poisoning him. After all, she inherited everything: his money, land, house, and even his gold shop. However, an investigation didn't uncover any wrongdoing on her part. Some whispered that Reena may have paid off the authorities, but the case was officially closed. Whatever the truth was, Reena emerged as the sole owner of Ashraf's entire estate. Reena had heard that her youngest daughter, Salma, had a boyfriend, so one day, driven by curiosity, she decided to stop by Salma's boutique near the Rajshahi market. After all, when her eldest daughter, Nizia, got married, Reena wasn't invited. This time, she thought, if Salma were to get married, she had to be included. When Reena arrived at the boutique, she found Salma wasn't alone. Her boyfriend, Kamal, was there too. It was her first time meeting the young man. Salma quickly introduced him, proudly saying Kamal was about to graduate from college. But things took a sharp turn. Reena's expression soured, and she suddenly snapped, shouting at Kamal. You're that guy who's always at the bar every night, aren't you? Aren't you with that older woman, Shobnam? You're no college student. You're nothing but a kept man. Salma was furious and immediately sent her mother away. A few days later, when Reena called, Salma mocked her and hung up. By the time New Year's Eve 2017 rolled around, Reena was regularly visiting her eldest daughter, Nizia, venting her suspicions about Kamal. She told Nizia that Salma shouldn't let herself be fooled by him. Eventually, Nizia passed the message on to Salma, who began to feel uneasy. Deep down, Salma loved Kamal, but she couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that her mother's words, and the rumors she had heard from others, might be true. Reluctantly, Salma started distancing herself from Kamal. She told him she needed some time alone and stopped transferring him large sums of money. While Kamal kept calling, asking for financial help, she only sent small amounts, far less than before. Then, on March 1, 2018, Salma got a message from Kamal. He wanted to break up. He said he couldn't keep waiting around in a relationship that felt stuck. Salma called him right away, apologizing and begging for another chance. But Kamal coldly told her it was too late. He had moved on, found someone else, and was planning to get married soon. Heartbroken, Salma tried to track him down, but Kamal's phone was disconnected. Frustrated, she blamed her sister, Nizia, for the breakup. Nizia, however, stood firm, saying she just wanted Salma, now 27, to find a hard-working, reliable man, not a 23-year-old liar like Kamal. This only angered Salma more, though Nizia later apologized to smooth things over. A month later, on April 7, 2018, a customer at Salma's spa casually asked her, "So, did you break up with that guy who used to hang around here?" Salma gave a vague smile, avoiding a direct answer. The customer went on, "Well, I heard he's marrying someone else, one of the customers here, the woman with red hair who owns a gold shop in Rajshahi." The words hit Salma like a bolt of lightning. She knew her mother, Reena, owned a gold shop in Rajshahi, and her mother's hair was also dyed red. Could it be? That night, Salma called Nizia and begged her to visit Reena's house together the next day to confirm the news. Unfortunately, Nizia was out of town with her husband. Left with no choice, Salma decided to stay at her sister's house for 2 days, accompanied by their housekeeper, until Nizia returned and they could uncover the truth together. On April 9, 2018, the siblings, Salma and Nizia, arrived at their mother Reena's house. Sure enough, Kamal was there, and the place was bustling with activity. It looked like there were preparations for a party. Curious, Nizia picked up an invitation from the table, and immediately lost her temper. She confronted her mother, accusations flying, and Reena snapped right back. The heated argument quickly escalated into a full-blown fight. What no one expected was what Salma did next. While the chaos unfolded, she quietly slipped into her sister Nizia's room and took her husband's gun. She found Kamal standing alone and, without hesitation, fired a shot into his waist. Moments later, Salma turned her attention to her mother. Overcome with rage, she fired multiple rounds at Reena, who collapsed to the floor. The woman died instantly at just 51 years old. Nizia, in shock and horror, hugged her sister and managed to convince her to surrender. Together, they went to the Rajshahi City police station and turned Salma in. In the aftermath, Kamal survived but was left with injuries to his waist and thigh. He temporarily lost mobility in his left leg. During police interviews, Salma and Nizia explained that they had gone to their mother's house to confirm the rumors about Kamal marrying Reena. What they didn't anticipate was how out of control things would get. Nizia insisted she had no idea Salma was armed. Everything spiraled so fast. The investigation uncovered a tangled web of lies and deceit. Salma admitted that she loved Kamal, but their relationship was riddled with dishonesty. Kamal wasn't the man he claimed to be. He had pretended to be a 23-year-old college student, but in reality, he was 30 and unemployed. To make matters worse, Kamal had drained Salma's finances. Part of the sisters' boutique savings had gone to Kamal, supposedly as a down payment for the house they would live in after marriage. Months later, there was no house, and the money had vanished. Salma admitted that what kept her tied to Kamal wasn't just love, it was the sting of losing her money. In court, Salma and Nizia revealed even more about their troubled relationship with their mother. They no longer considered Reena their mom. She had caused them too much pain, neglecting them emotionally and financially. Despite this, Nizia never wanted to harm her. She said she would have listened if Reena had just tried to have a calm conversation with her. For Salma, though, this was the breaking point of years of built-up resentment. Salma begged the court to exonerate Nizia, who she claimed had no involvement in the events of that night and had only come along to support her. On July 22, 2018, the judge and jury delivered their verdict. Nizia was declared not guilty and honorably acquitted. Salma, however, was found guilty of first-degree murder for the premeditated killing of her mother. She received a life sentence but was eligible for parole after serving 20 years. 2 months later, armed with enough evidence, Nizia took Kamal to court for fraud. The case revealed the extent of his deception, and he was sentenced to 6 months in prison, on a wheelchair. What lessons can we learn from this story?